Playing with vanilla people or kinksters who are not spankos is as satisfying to me as playing with other spankos.
I have a lot to say about this subject because my first boyfriend was vanilla. My second boyfriend was a top from BDSM, and my third long relationship is my husband, who is a non-spanko vanilla guy. So I'm here in slightly. In fact, I should be here and slightly agree, because I feel complete playing with my husband, who is a vanilla guy, but I cannot be there because I know that in this almost 15 years of relationship, we passed through a lot to get to this point that he really understands me, and he is a really, really supportive person. But to make a relationship like that works, there is a lot of tears and a lot of frustration, but there is a lot of love, and love can make anything happen. So when I broke up with my first boyfriend, he go out to drink with some friends, and he take me out of the closet and tell to the other friends that I like spankings. This is not like a big deal in Brazil, because guys do that. They sit in the bar and they say about that. But on that moment, I promised myself that I will never again date a vanilla person. So I go to the BDSM scene and I get a thought, but he was not exactly what I was looking for. So it was, again, almost 2 years trying to make someone understand my necessities, my fetish, and who I am and what I want. So I start to date my vanilla husband, the love of my life, the reason that I am here, and And I always say to people, we can't make this work. We can't make this really happen if both parts are open and with an open heart and open to learn and to talk and to understand their souls.
I think it's definitely a case-by-case basis. Because I have similar experience. I have an ex who was kinky, and I did not feel fulfilled playing with him. But the person that I'm with now is also kinky, but I would say that their kinks align a lot more with the Spanko community, and a lot of the things that push our buttons are the buttons that he likes to push. So I think, and also at the same time, I'm still learning about what sort of things that I like. I know I like spanking, obviously, but the little nuances, I'm still learning those. And the fun thing about having a partner that isn't a spanko and doesn't already have their own nuances is that I can just tell him my nuances and then they become his. And so I can feel fulfilled in that way because he feels good doing exactly what I like.
Yeah, I strongly agree. Just in my experience so far, I've only been playing for about a year and a half, and more of that has been with general kinksters than with spankos. And so it'll be interesting to see over the years how that shifts or changes maybe, but my partner is not a spanko, but definitely not vanilla. And we've worked it out really well, where we've both learned a lot about what each person likes, and we will have specific scenes that are, this one is for me, and this is I like these phrases, and this is what we're going to do. This is definitely more spanking, disciplinary focused. and then we'll have scenes that are more for him and what he likes. And they overlap enough that we both enjoy them, but that way we can really go deep into what each of us wants. And I've found so far that just because I know him better and have a deeper relationship with him, it's more satisfying to me than playing with people that I've only just met at a party or I don't know very well. So I think playing with spankos can also be very satisfying, but it can be equally satisfying with kinksters who are, and anybody who is keen to learn, I guess.
I've had meaningful relationships with people who I don't share a fetish with, for sure. But there's something I think that's a lot better about being able to do things with people that I don't have to worry about a quid pro quo, and I know that they enjoy what I enjoy, and I don't feel like I'm making them do something they don't want to do, and I don't feel like I'm obligated to do something that I, don't feel 100% about. And I also think that there's not a particular reason that one fetish and another fetish or the general BDSM community share anything more in common than the fetish we all have and just normative sexuality, or what we call that. I think those are just as discrete as anything else. So I don't feel like people who are part of the BDSM community understand me or have some special insight into me any more than just anyone at all.
I just wanted to add that it probably also, like, a lot of these, or like a lot of how people are aligning has to do with if you identify as a top, a bottom, or a switch. Because I am assuming a top probably would not have that much fun playing with a bottom that has the pain tolerance of like a pillow and and will like tap out after 2 swats. But like a bottom can probably play with most anyone because anyone can wail on you, but it still probably wouldn't be as satisfying just because of like the dialogue that you'd be having and just like the headspace. That's all I wanted to add.
Adjacent to what other people have said, I think it's very specific to the person. I'm sure and I've even played with people who like aren't spankos, but whose kinks and other things they are into align enough to where I've had extremely satisfying and enjoyable scenes with them and have 0 complaints. So I know that is possible, but I slightly disagree, mainly because even though those scenes were amazing, they still weren't exactly my headspace. And it's like a kind of headspace that I won't even say like all spankos get, because even within our community, we all have different headspaces we love to play in. But I will say I am more likely to click and have like almost like across the board all of those buttons hit by someone who is a spanko and has a spanking fetishist than someone who doesn't, because we've had similar experiences with like our startles and different tropes that we love. And it's like, you get me on such a minute level that I'm instantly in a headspace that is otherwise more difficult to get to without teaching a person. And I am willing to teach. I love to do it. But I also love just being able to walk into a room and be like, you get me, let's go. So that's why I'm in slightly disagree.
Now, my husband gets mad when I say that he is a non-spanko because he labeled himself as a spanko, as a spanker. And, it's really nice to play with him, and he really learned how to do everything. But that is a significant difference between us. The time that I pass off my life thinking about spanking, thinking about domestic discipline, thinking about all those things that we like, he passed thinking about sex because he is a sex-oriented person, and I'm not. So this is the biggest difference.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm still figuring this out, but maybe it's all the years that my fantasies were just in my head and not shared with anybody, that it's hard for me to share them with people. And when I have a close relationship with somebody, that makes more of a difference than even if they have the exact same fantasies and they're a spanko. It's more satisfying to me because I think I can let go a little bit more with somebody that I feel really comfortable with. So in the case of my partner, I can share my fantasies and be really comfortable about that. Whereas even with other spankos that I play with, I still feel a little bit of like a holding back, and I can't quite get into the headspace. I think a lot of times, even though we have really very similar fantasies, exactly the same sorts of phrases and words and things. So it may be just my experience, which, like I said, may change over time. But yeah.